It's 5 a.m., your alarm rings, and in that single moment you make a decision that will determine whether you spend 2026 chasing your life or building it. Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. The first hour of your day doesn't just set the tone, it determines the entire trajectory of the next 23 hours. And if you lose the morning, you've already lost the day before most people even wake up. Most men hit snooze, scroll their phone for 30 minutes, react to everyone else's priorities, and wonder why they feel powerless and behind before they even leave the house. But the men who dominate their lives, their businesses, their bodies, and their futures all have one thing in common. They own their morning before the world tries to own them, and that ownership starts at 5 a.m. Here's what actually happens when you wake up at 5 a.m. for 30 straight days. First, you reclaim control, and I don't mean control over your schedule. I mean control over your mind, because when you wake up at 5 a.m., you're making a decision that overrides your biology, your comfort, and your excuses. You're telling your brain, I am in charge here, not you. And that single act of discipline in the first minute of your day creates momentum that carries into every decision afterward. Suddenly saying no to distractions becomes easier. Choosing the hard task over the easy one becomes automatic. And staying consistent stops feeling like a battle because you already won the hardest battle of the day before the sun came up. Second, you get uninterrupted focus, and this is the advantage nobody talks about. At 5 a.m. the world is silent, your phone isn't blowing up, nobody's asking you for anything, there are no meetings, no emergencies, no distractions, just you and whatever goal matters most. And if you spend that first hour working on your business, your body, your skills, or your mind, you've already made more real progress than most people make all day because you did it when your willpower was full and your focus was sharp, not at 9 p.m. when you're exhausted and trying to squeeze productivity out of whatever energy is left. Third, you build the identity of someone who doesn't negotiate, because here's what happens psychologically when you wake up at 5 a.m. You prove to yourself that you're not controlled by comfort, convenience, or how you feel. You become someone who does hard things when they don't want to, and that identity shift doesn't stay in the morning, it bleeds into everything. The person who gets up at 5 a.m. is the same person who goes to the gym when they're tired, works on their business when they're not motivated, and says no to distractions when everyone else is scrolling. Waking up early isn't about the time. It's about becoming someone who keeps promises to themselves. Fourth, you create a gap between you and everyone else that compounds daily, because while they're hitting snooze, you're working, while they're scrolling, you're building, while they're reacting to their day, you're designing yours. And if you do this every single day for a year, that gap becomes impossible to close. You're not just ahead by an hour, you're ahead by 365 hours of focused work. 365 decisions made from discipline instead of convenience, 365 mornings where you proved you're in control. Now here's the part that separates people who try this from people who transform. You don't wake up at 5 a.m. because you feel like it, you wake up at 5 a.m. and then you feel like it. The motivation comes after the action, not before, so when that alarm rings tomorrow at 5 a.m. you have two choices. Hit snooze and stay the same person you've always been, or get up, own your morning, and become the person who doesn't need permission to win. Comment 5 a.m. if you're committing to 30 days starting tomorrow, and subscribe right now because I'm releasing the complete morning domination system, exact routines, and the frameworks you need to turn waking up early from a struggle into your greatest advantage. The first hour determines the next 23, so stop giving it away and start owning it.